And you and I are back into talking about the male seiyuu that have everything in their skills and technique to become a cappella singers, but up until now very few people have noticed it. So let's kick off this episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyuu Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is male seiyuu that could impress as a cappella singers part 2. This is the second part about seiyuu who have outstanding skills as singers, and in some way I am impressed that they do not sing a cappella music often, or that there are no 2D music projects such as Aopella casting them. So before diving into this theme, if you are listening to this podcast on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please consider following this podcast and leaving a review. Leaving a review is really simple and helps other people just like you finding this podcast and fall in love with male seiyuu artists and 2D groups. If you are on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel for more episodes of Seiyuu Lounge. If you want to go the extra mile and support this podcast, please consider becoming a patron or sharing a coffee with me. You can find links in the description of this episode. Thanks for the support so far. So, in the previous episode, you and I talked about Shota Aoi, Shunichi Toki, Yoshiki Nakajima, Daiki Yamashita, and Soma Saito. They are all obvious choices within the tenor and four baritone vocal ranges that have more than enough talent to truly shine as a cappella singers. In this one, let's add 5 more names that I believe would make your jaw drop in awe if they got the chance to perform a cappella music. Makoto Furukawa. Owner of the most powerful vibrato voice among male seiyuu, Makoto Furukawa is a baritone with surprisingly one of the widest vocal ranges out there. He can go higher than his normal vocal range and perform high notes, something he has been showing more of in the past couple of years in his solo artist work, or he can go low and deliver an intimidating booming bass voice as a singer. Theatricality and emotion are his core traits as a singer, a result of his experience and passion for performing jazz music, as well as due to how emotional his performances can be for some 2D groups. There is a mature allure to Makoto Furukawa's performances that I absolutely love, something easily noticeable in his solo work, as well as his work as Ruby Leopard's Akane in the Dig Rock franchise. That is of course contrasted by his over-the-top theatrical performances with Cafe Parade in the Idolmaster Side M franchise, or with the grim, violent delivery with Genesis in the Yumeiro Cast franchise. Regardless of what first impressions of his singing may be, Furukawa has one of the most gentle voices out there. All that power that comes from his strong vocalization using vibrato goes out of the window when it's time to perform a ballad or even an R&B tune, as he does in the Fabulous Night franchise. His emotional range is quite impressive, with him delivering heart-wrenching performances both using high notes and his powerful vibrato. He can make you invested in his performances by how larger than life his stage presence is. Now, this is something that you usually may not pay attention to, but while Furukawa is not the flashiest seiyuu artist on stage, his presence is felt in a way that you just can't take your eyes off of him. He always seems like he is enjoying himself. He feels the lyrics and thus delivers an interpretation of those that is impressive, regardless if it is a character song or a solo song of his. He has a power and charisma about himself that, although not obvious, make it so that you just can't think of anything else while he is on stage. This is a wonderful trait for a performer and especially for an a cappella singer. His presence would be felt if he joined an a cappella group, and he would most definitely shine in it. As far as his technique goes, as I said, Furukawa has a warm, booming, low baritone voice that can tap into bass. While he has said before that he barely could do high notes, in recent years he has been practicing and it is already noticeable him doing falsetto and going for high notes he had never before dared to hit. He has a charismatic voice that can blend with pretty much any other kind of voice out there. When he harmonizes with other seiyuu, he always reads the tone and pitch and adjusts to that, something you can notice when the performances are slightly trickier than usual for 2D groups. He has perfect control over his voice and a unique vibrato that make him a perfect choice for any 2D group. In my opinion, Makoto Furukawa has everything to be a fourth part in a cappella, which is reserved to the baritone, or a bass. Kentito. Just like with Makoto Furukawa, I wonder why Kentito hasn't been cast in a cappella or in a project that requires him to perform a cappella music. Have you heard him sing? It is no surprise just how technical and experienced Kentito is as a singer. Not only has he been giving his voice to 2D groups that range from hip-hop to rock, lyrical music or even EDM, but he has also been composing music and, in a way, singing since way before he became a voice actor. As such, he brings heaps of experience to whichever 2D group or band he joins in. Kentito is a tenor that can tap into the baritone range, and with this technique that is more than enough to make your jaw drop in awe. He can go insanely high on his tenor range and deliver beautiful high notes. Falsetto and head voice are frequently found in his performances, and if need be, he can go low and dramatic to deliver emotional performances. And speaking of emotional performances, Kentito has a good sensibility as a singer, being able to convey complex emotions in his performances, which is especially noticeable in the songs by Anthos in the Hanadol franchise. There is an intangible as a singer that I deeply appreciate. It's called nuance. So what is this thing? What is a nuance? This is something that is not that easy to illustrate, especially in a podcast format, so let me give you an example. You have one song to be performed by two singers. Both singers get the same instructions about the emotions in the lyrics, how to approach each part, and how their voice tone should be like. A good singer follows those instructions, and the performance will be amazing. But outstanding singers build their performance around those guidelines and add their own touch, deliberately or unknowingly, because that is their unique color or style as a singer. And thus, their performance is not amazing, but memorable. Perhaps the singer is more careful of the way they attack a note, or for how long their vibrato goes in a specific part, or how they raise their voice while adding a tiny bit of emotion. Those nuances, the little details if you will, are what sets apart good from terrific singers. And from what I've heard so far, Kentito is a terrific singer. He is all about nuance in his performances, and as such, he can make you emotionally invested in all his performances. Just listen to his performances with Sam, Anthos, and Matenro, for example. You'll get what I mean. Packing a versatile tenor tone with heaps of experience and a polished technique and emotional range, Kentito has everything to become a lead or even a second part in an a cappella group. Tarusuke Shingaki. Tarusuke Shingaki is such an amazing singer, and as weird as it may be, is extremely underrated. For those familiar with Shingaki's singing and voice tone, you will be nodding alongside me. He is that good of a singer. His voice is unique, even within the bass and baritone ranges. Tarusuke Shingaki is a sweet bass singer with a wide vocal range that brings him high to the baritone range. On top of that, he has a lot of singing experience under his belt. He's got a unique melodic tone that I absolutely love. It feels like he brings influences from soul, 80s pop and classic rock to his singing style, and that, paired up with his honeyed low vocals, ends up being a winning formula. There's a comfortable warmth to his performances, overflowing with emotion and effortless allure courtesy of his suggestive vibrato. But although I mention he has a suggestive vibrato, he actually keeps things quite classy and elegant throughout. He has a natural, mature vibe about his singing style, especially within his bass and low baritone vocal ranges, which is uncanny with that of Takuya Sato. Needless to say, I appreciate sweet voices, and when those are on the lower register, something that is rare among male seiyuu, believe it or not, I can't help but geek about them time and time again. I really appreciate Tarusuke Shingaki's singing tone, reliability, not to mention his versatility. There's a reason he was chosen as VEZ's leader and the face of VEZ Rock. His singing skills are not a joke. He has shown over the years that he can harmonize with others with ease. He has good active listening, something that shows in his live performances with VEZ. Then his sense of rhythm and pitch are impeccable, and on top of it all, he has an insane control over his vocal range, seamlessly shifting from bass to baritone and not sounding once like he is exerting himself. Shingaki may not be the first name on the list of most fans of 2D groups when I mention the best singers in 2D music, but he certainly deserves to be there. If you haven't had the opportunity to check his singing, I thoroughly recommend you to check his work in the Prince of Tennis anime series, the character songs, as well as part of VEZ in the VEZ Rock franchise. All in all, Tarusuke Shingaki has everything to be that booming bass vocal for an a cappella group, a vital piece in breathing life to a performance, but also, with his singing style and vocal range, adds a lot of maturity to the performances. Yuya Hirose. If you've listened or watched most of the episodes of Seiyuu Lounge, you may have noticed that there are 3 seiyuu I am always saying that should make a solo debut due to how amazing they are as singers. You may also have noticed that they have yet to take even the smallest step towards that, but that's a different conversation. For this episode, however, it's time to talk about how amazing Yuya Hirose would be as an a cappella singer. There is no way around it. Yuya Hirose has a beautiful voice. Hirose is a tenor with a solid high range and is really smooth in his delivery. Really, his performances feel like he's gliding through the lyrics. It's a unique feeling. Within his tenor range, he can go insanely high, delivering crystal clear high notes both in falsetto and head voice. But he can also go a bit low and add a baritone raspy edge to his performances. He has done so for Zul's songs in the Idolish 7 franchise in order to sound edgy, and that works not only surprisingly well, but also gives a unique twist to his already quite unique voice tone. Since his early 20s, when he made his debut as a voice actor, Yuya Hirose has shown an unreal control over his vocals and delivering technical performances like it's no big deal. and as time passed, he has only improved further, adding improved active listening, essential technique that is usually learned by Seiyu when performing live as part of a group, as well as he has polished his sense of rhythm and flow. Given how good he was and has been as a singer since the start, these changes have been barely noticeable, but they have been there. Hirose continues to improve as a singer, and due to his unique singing tone and technique, he's been a sought-after talent for 2D music projects. Fans will best know him for his work as Zul's center in the Idolish 7 franchise, but he's got a lot of versatility to him that not only make him excel in pop, but also in EDM and R&B, as well as rock with Erosion in the Cornelian Blood franchise, or even Eurobeat as the leader of Himmel in the Fabulous Night franchise. Versatility, reliability, and quality are just some of the things you can expect from Yuya Hirose's performances, and he'd be the perfect person to take the role of lead or top part in an a cappella group. Wataru Hatano. Those that are familiar with his singing skills will easily agree with me on this one. Wataru Hatano is a terrific singer with an even more impressive vocal and emotional ranges. Wataru Hatano is a baritone with full tenor and almost full bass singing ranges. He has one of the widest vocal ranges among male seiyuu, something that is not restricted to his acting in anime series. No. As a matter of fact, Hatano can easily perform in baritone, tenor, and bass vocal ranges, having done so for different 2D music projects and character songs over the years. Hatano's singing tone is incredibly sweet. It feels warm, like a cozy hug. But while that is the norm for the wide majority of his performances, he can also sound incredibly intense and imposing if he wants to. He shows a bit of that in his performances with Undead in the Ensemble Stars franchise. As far as passion, allure, and ambition go, Wataru Hatano excels in showcasing that with Trigger in the Idolish 7 franchise. One thing you can take from his performances over 20 years active as a voice actor is that Hatano's emotional range shows in all of his performances, but it is more prominent in 2D music projects that are heavily story-driven, such as Idolish 7 and A3. As far as music genres go, Wataru Hatano has made it so that he can perform in any music genre. Over the years he has performed pop and rock as a solo artist, EDM, dance, jazz, ballads, hard rock, R&B, hip-hop and more as part of 2D groups. Hatano doesn't seem to have any flaws as a singer. He can sing in all those music genres. He has one of the widest vocal ranges among male seiyuu and shifts between those three without any issues. He is incredibly technical, performing head voice, falsetto, vibrato, and even harmonizing with others in ways you wouldn't expect. He is the perfect lead as well as the perfect core to a group. And he doesn't get enough credit for how impressive and consistent he is as a singer. He is versatile and extremely experienced. His sense of rhythm and pitch are perfect. I have yet to listen to a live performance of his in which he misses a key or fails to enter a song at the right time. He is that perfect. For me, Wataru Hatano could be almost in any position within an a cappella group. However, I feel like he would be shining the most, or at least would be best suited for a third part or a bass part. Another episode, another batch of wonderful singers among male seiyuu that have everything and more to become a cappella singers. So far, I've presented to you 10 male seiyuu that could join a cappella or, alternatively, become the cast for a new 2D a cappella music project. They are technical, consistent, they have an outstanding emotional range, and they go for those intangibles, for those nuances that set apart good from terrific singers. They have all these and more ready to be unleashed in a cappella music. So now tell me, would you like to hear any of these male seiyuu in a 2D a cappella music project? If yes, why? Let me know in the comments on YouTube, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyuu Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the hand that feeds HQ's weekly male seiyuu and music related content, hit the subscribe button. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Thank you for listening, and see you guys around.